See you all. Although I wish I were there in person. I much prefer that. But here we are, gathered in person and remotely. We come together to grow, to be healed, to stretch mind and heart, to be challenged and renewed. We come to be encouraged in our own search for meaning and love, to help build a world with more justice and mercy in it, to be counted among the hopers and the doers. Here, wherever we are, we invite the spirit of our own humanity and the healing powers under, around, through, and beyond to give us the nerve and the grace, the toughness and the sensitivity, to search out the truth that sets us free and the light of life that makes all things new. So may it be.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the South Fork. It's so good to see some people here on this beautiful, almost winter day. As Unitarian Universalists, we come together each week to honor what is of worth, whether we're on Zoom or in the woods or in the meeting house. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, whatever your name for the sacred, you are very welcome to bring your full self here. My name is Pam Wittenberg, and I am your worship associate this morning. Welcome, Reverend Jennifer Brower. She lives kind of far away, not around the corner. So this is actually much better, a safer place for her. And it is a pleasure to have you. Reverend Brower is Minister Emerita of the UU congregation at Shelter Rock, a certified life coach who specializes in helping folks rediscover wholeness and a new life following a death or a non-death loss, in addition to being a fellow in Thanatology. This morning, Reverend Brower will lead us in drawing inspiration from our Jewish sisters and brothers to reflect upon the message and miracle of Hanukkah in spoken word and songs played by our accomplished musician, Stephen Skoldberg. Our musician today is Stephen Skoldberg, thank you. Our tech hosts today are Reverend Kimberly. Thank you so much. Tech host Carl Wittenberg, who helped set up this morning. Can everyone hear okay? Excellent. Please silence your other devices as usual. Whether you are joining us in the meeting house or from your home, we invite you to settle into this sacred hour, free from distractions. You will find printed announcements in your order of service, and if you'd like to get an announcement to us, please give it to us by Tuesday. But I wanted to point out, maybe we have enough people to work on finishing a letter writing project for the UU Church of the Larger Fellowship Prison Ministry. Their goal is to send holiday messages to 2,000 incarcerated members. And we can do our part by sending 100. We'll see. Miracles have happened. So if you have a little time, maybe we can all scrawl, write legibly a couple of notes for this week. And I'll get to that later, but it helps to remind us all, next Sunday, and I'll remind us again, is a Deck the Halls soup potluck, and we will also make ornaments to ornament around the meeting house, so you're more than welcome, and you're invited to bring some soup to share. Okay. And now is time if you haven't greeted anybody, to greet them again, and I'll call you back before our chalice lighting.
Okay. No, okay. I was going to shovel. So that's probably the cold air. But as I started singing, it got better.
Oh, good. You're
But
great.
for the cold.
Oh, no, you're great. It's time to light our chalice.
The chalice lighting words that we share with you this morning come from the UUA website with worship materials honoring Hanukkah. We honor the great mystery of the universe, the source of all, which deems everything sacred by its power to unite us and gives us the radiance that we bring forth together. We hallow this time together by kindling the flame of our chalice. Pam has lit yours. I will do mine here. Go ahead, Pam.
Please rise as you're willing or able, and we'll do hymn number 221, Light One Candle.
Together, Jesus the song in our
That is marvelous. All of this technology is just so spectacularly marvelous. But I've got so many devices going all at once that something is sure to ding or ring or make some noise. So I'll ask you to forgive me when that happens. I share with you an adaptation of the work of Robin Landerman Zucker. Like many Unitarian Universalist families, the interfaith Zuckers lit Hanukkah candles each year using Grandma Esther's hand-me-down menorah. Ritual prayers began. Baruch atah Adonai. Blessed art thou, O Lord. Now, many years ago, when the Zucker's now very grown-up daughter was about 5.5, and you know the half really matters. She was about 5.5. She asked to light the menorah. She stood ready to light the night's candle, took a deep breath, and intoned loud and clear as a bell, Baruch atah Illinois. Blessed art thou, Illinois. And her family laughed and laughed. And as you might imagine, every Hanukkah after that, they recalled that event and laughed some more. It's amusing to ponder whether the prairie state, as Illinois is known, might be more sacred than, say, the Buckeye State, or the Pine Tree State, or the Show Me State, or the Gopher State, or the Empire State, or the Mass Bay Colony. But it isn't. Sacred space is where you find it, where you build it, where you feel grounded and at home and blessed yourself. No pun intended, but it is a state of mind. Yes, Illinois is surely the promised land for some. Someone in that room, perhaps, I don't know. And Lake Michigan is as holy as the Jordan. But maybe what you consider hallowed ground is the quiet, shaded corner of your yard where you will see the first crocus or feel the first little breeze of spring. Or it could be right where you are, where you commune with your higher power and your friends, or where you exhale today a litany of sighs. So blessed art thou, Illinois, Maine, Hawaii, New York, California. Blessed art thou, sunny seat by the kitchen window, old bench at the beach, your preferred seat in the fellowship. Blessed art thou, garden and wooded trail. Blessed art thou, precious seat on the subway train. Blessed art thou, all the places where we feel at home and connected. Blessed art thou, all the sacred spaces and promised lands which we create and inhabit together today and in all the days to come. Here ends our story for this morning.
May your roots grow deep. May your branches spread far. And may you find the world to be a wonderful place and leave it better for those who follow. It is time now for joys and concerns. If you are in the meeting house, please come to the microphone. And if you're online, you just tap, let Reverend Kimberly know if you have a joy or concern, and we'll unmute you. I will light candles. I have a joy that's mixed with a concern about Carol. We received 2 collections here. A basket will be passed that sustains the work of our congregation. There's also a basket in the back for helping hand. And thank you. And Stephen.
I have a little dreidel and made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. And when you're dry and ready, oh dreidel we shall play. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of wood. And when it is all ready, I'll play you if I could. Oh dreidel, 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 I made you out of wood. And when you are all ready, I'll play you if I could. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of glass. And when it is all ready, I'll play it on the grass. Oh dreidel, 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 I made you out of glass. And when you are all ready, I'll play you on the grass. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of gold. And when it is all ready, I'll play it in the cold. Oh dreidel, 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 I made you out of gold. And when you are all ready, I'll play you in the cold. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. And when you are ready, oh dreidel I shall play.
Thank you so much for that, Stephen. We're going to insert our pastoral meditation in this portion of our service before we move on to the sermon. I invite you into a spirit of meditation and prayer. As has been said about prayer, prayer doesn't change the world. But the act of prayer and looking inward in a meditative practice changes people, and people change the world. I share with you today the words of Harry Meserve, which are printed in our hymnal. You don't need your hymnal, but know that they're there. From arrogance, pompousness, and thinking ourselves more important than we are, may some saving sense of humor liberate us. For allowing ourselves at times to ridicule the faith of others, may we be forgiven. For making war and calling it peace, special privilege and calling it justice, indifference and calling it tolerance, pollution and calling it progress, may we be cured. For telling ourselves and others that evil is inevitable while good is impossible, may we stand corrected. God called by so many names, God of our mixed up, tragic, aspiring, doubting, and insurgent lives, help us to be as good as in our hearts we have always wanted to be. For these words, for the prayers of our hearts, for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, for our circle of kinship and friendship, for our community, for our world, I say, so may it be, and amen. I invite you to take a deep breath and find a comfortable spot in that seat. I'm going to grab my water. And I wish I had hand cream today. You know those days? Some years back, while driving down Northern Boulevard, a trip I'd made a zillion times between my home in Seacliff and the congregation in Manhasset, an unfamiliar sight caught my eye. Right at this major intersection of Northern Boulevard and Searingtown Road, maybe you know the area, maybe not, but it's a busy, busy intersection with all kinds of things happening. There's a Benihana and a gas station and this snooty shopping mall called the Miracle Mile and bus lines and all kinds of stuff going on there. Many lanes of traffic every which way. And right there on this corner of Northern Boulevard and Searingtown Road, I saw a huge menorah, so huge, on the side of the Whole Foods that's there. Since it wasn't even Thanksgiving yet, I thought, like, wow, Hanukkah's coming really early this year. Like, what's that about? And I drove on. A day or two later, as I approached the same intersection going to the congregation, I noticed that the menorah looked a little different. It looked a little wonky. It was not quite right, that menorah. So I slowed down to see what was going on. And what I thought was a menorah turned out to be the bare lower limbs of a tree, you know? Without leaves, the tree limbs that branched out looked like they were in the shape of a menorah. And it was visible because of the dark bark against the striking white brick of the Whole Foods building behind it. And what's funny about it is every time I drive past that tree, no matter the season, every time I'm in that area, I think of that menorah. I think of that tree, and it is always going to be a menorah for me. In fact, I drove by there with somebody recently and I said, "Look at that. Look over there. What do you see?" Because the tree was bare, and the person I was with said, "I see a menorah." So I'm convinced that I'm not the only one. But that tree has totally grown on me, the menorah tree. It's become woven into my experience of that corner, of that community, and part of my world. With Hanukkah beginning tonight, my thoughts have been turning to how Hanukkah is woven into our lives. For me, it was woven into my early life in Manhattan, just because you're in Manhattan and everybody who's in Manhattan is Jewish somehow, no matter what faith you actually are. You know, you got to learn a little Yiddish and you've got to understand the Jewish high holy days and holidays. So Hanukkah is woven into our lives, even if we are not Jewish. But I've been thinking about how we as Unitarian Universalists celebrate the holidays and festivals of our religious forebears and our religious contemporaries. And sometimes it's a little bit complicated, you know. After all, which religious holidays do we appropriately honor and why? You know, we're very sensitive to whether or not we're engaging in cultural misappropriation or religious misappropriation. You know, what is the meaning of a religious holiday when we are not adherents of that religious tradition? It's a lot to think about. Now, I'm going to date myself with this, but a few years ago, way more than a few years ago, there was an advertisement on television during the holiday season. I hope that you will remember it too, actually. The commercial was for who knows what, maybe like a cellular carrier. I don't know. But it included this snappy little song about celebrating Christmas Hanukkah. Do you remember that? Gosh, I hope so. Yes, I see some nodding and some movements there. And I remember the first time I saw that commercial and I thought, oh my God, that's what people think Unitarian Universalists celebrate. Christmas Hanukkah. Now, as any informed person knows, we haven't actually blended all of the holidays together. We do have some distinctions there. And we do consider what the holy days are from other sources, from our source traditions. Now, while it's true that we cannot approach Hanukkah in the same way that a Jewish community would, for instance, many of us would sort of wonder about the day's worth of oil burning for 8 days. That might be a little out of our sphere theologically, but there is still something very precious and valuable for us in Hanukkah. There is insight and inspiration and a message for us too to take to heart. And that message lies in the power of faith in the face of uncertainty. But man, that faith thing, that is like a slippery eel to get your hands around. It is a hard thing to get your hands on and hold on to. I remember well my first confrontation with faith. My fourth grade Sunday school teacher encouraged me to demonstrate a little bit of it when I badgered her about the origin of God. At 9 years old, I was okay with the notion of a creator God, but I needed an explanation that day in Sunday school for how the creator God had been created. Like who or what created the creator? And my Sunday school teacher, this very kind, lovely, energetic, kind of small, busy woman, Mrs. Cretas, said something like, 2 hands down on the table. Jennifer, some things have to be taken on faith. And I knew right then that I was not a good Presbyterian. So faith and what it means to have faith and what it means to be a person of faith has been a part of my life for close to 50 years. And I'll tell you, as a UU minister, if I had a nickel for every time somebody asked me about faith, I would be living in Bonaire. I would be a very wealthy woman indeed. Defining faith is no easy task. It is almost as tricky as defining God. And I know that some of you have likely found wrestling with faith to be so difficult that you might have jettisoned the word. Many of us have rejected faith at times or altogether because what we were taught doesn't make sense anymore. And so if you count yourself among that group, today I ask you to raise the questions of faith again and consider them anew. One of the problems with talking about faith is that we commonly associate it with religious belief or adherence to a particular set of theological doctrines. Though faith and belief are related and they do intersect, they of course are not synonymous. The late Wilfred Cantwell Smith, professor of comparative religion at Harvard, makes this distinction. Belief arises out of the effort to translate experiences of transcendence into concepts. But one does not have faith in a concept. Faith, rather, is the relation of trust in the transcendent about which concepts or beliefs are fashioned. Faith is a quality of human living. It's an orientation of the personality to oneself, to one's neighbor, and to the universe. It is a total response, a way of seeing whatever one sees and handling whatever one handles. A capacity to live at more than a mundane level. It's a quiet confidence and joy which enable one to feel at home in the universe and to find meaning in the world and in one's own life. A meaning that is profound and ultimate and is stable no matter what may happen. So, from Smith's view, faith can be understood not as an unwavering belief in a certain supernatural something, but as trust in what one has found transcendent, expressed in an attitude toward life that promotes growth and provides us with a sense of grounding. Along these lines, Sharon Salzberg, the renowned instructor of Buddhist meditation and founder of the Insight Meditation Society of Massachusetts and author, writes in her book, Faith, Trusting Your Own Deepest Experience. Faith does not require a deity or a God. It is not a commodity we either have or don't have. Faith is an inner quality that unfolds as we learn to trust our own deepest experiences. The role of trust in both Smith and Salzberg's interpretations speaks to me. For decades, since I was in seminary, I have found grounding in the succinct words of the late William Sloane Coffin, who wrote, "Faith is not belief without proof. It is trust without reservation." Faith is not belief without proof. It is trust without reservation, without holding anything back. Faith is an extension of trust, dependent upon our capacity to trust our own experience, to trust the universe around us, and our understanding of the transcendent. And maybe we have to work on our trust, some of us, and that's okay. That's a good spiritual practice, working on our trust. To blend the ideas expressed by these three religious thinkers, faith is an unfolding capacity to trust without reservation that allows us to feel at home in the universe, to find meaning in the world and in our own life, a meaning that is stable no matter what may happen. When I have had periods of thrashing through life, I turn to a poem that a friend shared with me, very dear friend of mine, now not part of my life. This is the work of Philip Booth, First Lesson. It's about teaching his daughter to swim, but it extends way beyond that. These are the words of Philip Booth. Lie back, daughter. Let your head be tipped in the cup of my hand. Gently, I will hold you. Spread your arms wide, lie out on the stream, and look high at the gulls. A dead man's float is face down. You will dive and swim soon enough where this tide water ebbs into the sea. Daughter, believe me, when you tire on the long thrash to your island, lie up and survive. As you float now, where I held you and let go. Remember, when fear cramps your heart, what I told you. Lie gently and wide to the light year stars. Lie back and the sea will hold you. Lie back, daughter, and the sea will hold you. How many of us trust that the sea of life will hold us? That it will carry us when we are tired from our thrashing? How many of us experience the presence of a sturdy confidence which enables us to feel at home in the universe no matter what's happening? Sometimes we feel ourselves fighting against those waves, uncertain of the power that supports us, unsure if it's available in that moment to buoy us up. The difference lies in our ability to trust, in our ability to have faith. But faith is not easily cultivated. Yet to live abundantly, having the ability to face catastrophe and confusion with an abiding calm, and to reap the rewards of engaged religious living, they're what make faith worth striving for. Now, it may seem a little in this moment that we have traveled kind of far afield from Hanukkah, but we're not so far, really, because Hanukkah is the story of faith, the story of people seeking to live lives of faith and whose words and deeds and commitments encourage the cultivation of faith in each other. In the face of extreme socioeconomic, political, and religious oppression, the ancient Israelites were sustained and strengthened by faith. In our moments of devastating and bewildering tragedy, it will be our ability to trust without reservation that sustains and buoys us up and points us to the deeper meanings that reside therein. So indeed, faith is worth striving for. But no one can take the leap for us. The task of cultivation rests within each of us. And our work begins by acknowledging that no matter that life is unpredictable, no matter that there are few events, the outcome of which we can control, we always have the power to choose how we will face this world and how we will face our living. Each and every day, we have the power within us to affirm or deny that there is more to life than the eye can see or the ear can hear. And we can choose to trust our own deepest wisdom and go beyond the available evidence, to take a chance and hold out hope against all odds. Like the ancient Israelites who did the best they could with what they had, it was faith that gave strength to a small group who fought a more powerful and formidable foe and won. It was faith that encouraged the people of the covenant community who reclaimed and dedicated the temple. It was faith that gave hope to those who lit the lamp, even though it seemed there was only a day's worth of oil. Like them, like each of them, we live not knowing what will come from our striving. We live by doing what seems right in the moment. We live never knowing if and when, it will be when, the light of our lamp will burn out. Who knew what would come of the Maccabees and their story? Who knew what would happen to the desecrated temple? Who knew what might happen when that lamp was lit? No one knew, but they had faith. So may it be for us in this difficult moment in the life of the world. So may it be, and amen. We invite you to rise as you're comfortable and join in singing our hymn number 83 in the Gray Hymnal.
Storm clouds pass and silence comes.
I share with you our words of benediction, and I ask Pam then to assist us with our chalice lighting, the text of which I do not have. May the light of joy brighten our lives. May the light of truth lead us to new understanding. May the light of righteousness teach us the right, and the light of courage enable us to do the right. May the light of hope give us high vision, and the light of love fill our days with purpose. May the light of faith burn always in our hearts. So may it be. Pam?
Let us extinguish the flame together in the words in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of wisdom, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please remain seated to enjoy our postlude.
Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Sevion to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Oh Hanukkah, a time to remember, joyful, jolly holiday that comes in December. Every day for 8 days, dreidels will spin, crispy little latkes, tasty and thin. And nightly, so brightly, the candles of Hanukkah glow. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Sevion to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.